Hi guys, I'm Captain Mark from 30A Light Tackle.
And I'm Kayla Burleson. I happen to hang out with 30A Light Tackle quite a bit. I'm also the editor of VIP 30A Magazine, and we are coming to you from Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, which is very close to Destin. And we've been trying to do this whole podcast, this video thing for a little bit. We're a little bit of we're kind of newbies to this, so we don't really know what we're doing, but our friends say we can do it, so we're going to try. And we really don't want to disappoint you, but here's our best go at it. We were sitting here thinking, okay, what can we really talk about? What can we, what would be a good subject? And, he's a pretty damn good fisherman, and it happens to be October in Destin, Florida, and do you know what that means?
The Destin Fishing Rodeo.
The Destin Fishing Rodeo. So we felt like that would be the best topic that we could think of to at least get this going. And Mark is involved in the Destin Fishing Rodeo. He is a captain. He's won a couple of years in a row in different divisions, but also captain of the year. And so we're going to pick his brain on this episode and just kind of give you guys advice and see, if we can help you guys in any way, do a good job or even some of the small things that for him the first year he didn't know, and it's like it's a little bit of a learning curve. So we're really gonna dive deep into that a little bit. And
yeah, like I was on the other side of the camera a lot, 5 years ago, just trying to figure out what the rodeo was and how to do stuff. And I remember the first year that I signed up for it, all I really wanted to do was weigh in a fish and just pull up to AJ's with all the people eating dinner and having cocktails and all that stuff around and just participate. And we got pretty lucky that year. But I like this too because I spend a lot of time trying to explain to people what the rodeo is and how it's a little bit different and how we fish and why the days are a little bit longer and stuff. So I'm happy to talk about some of it.
We're really excited about it. We are, but there are so many little things with the rodeo that you can, and I'll show you this one more time. This is the rodeo book for this year, and this is one of, this is one of your key things. Even if you register, you can go in and read the rules and, all the different quirks and things, but you need a captain who's been in it before to maybe go ahead and shed some light on some of these things that even the book doesn't tell you. So, I guess really quickly, if you don't mind, just to give you guys a little bit of a, insight on what the fishing rodeo is, and then we're going to turn it all over to Mark and let him answer all of these good questions, for you. But again, this is a month-long fishing tournament in Destin, Florida, the luckiest fishing village, right? That's what we're known for.
It's been pretty lucky to me.
Yeah, no, it is, and even this year, Mark, I'll go ahead and tell you before he even starts talking, he's already gotten a few fish on the board, and it's a very, very, very cool experience for anglers of all ages. You can be a little kid, you can be a mom, you can be a grandmother, a grandfather. It doesn't matter. There are different divisions for all ages. Also, there are different divisions, whether it is a private charter that you're going on, or if you are wanting to enter on a paddleboard, or even just fishing from the pier. There are so many different opportunities to just really make this a very fair fishing competition.
Yeah, like you don't need a boat. You don't need to know what you're doing, really. Anybody can sign up for it, or if you go on a hired charter, then you can win. The prizes are all, it's an angler-driven tournament, so all the prizes and the plaques, like these, go to the angler, not necessarily the captain.
But there are daily prizes too, where if you have like the biggest fish of the day, those sorts of things. There are so many different activities going on throughout this whole month. So you can win, cash prizes, t-shirts, all of these really cool, even vouchers where you can go in and pick up like a hat if you want, like anything. And it's a very cool, thing. There's also, like Mark was saying, it's whenever you pull up to the docks, there's a restaurant there and all of this seating where all these people are watching you come in and you weigh in your fish, but there's also concerts going on and all kind of just
it's awesome.
It's fun. It is an event. It is an event, and you will definitely enjoy it. Again, all ages. And this is actually, I believe, this is the 74th year.
That's what I thought.
It is. It's something that's been going on for a long time. They're really perfecting it, and obviously, it's going well. I mean,
it's just a lot of fun, and I don't know how to word it other than like, wait until you show up to the dock and weigh in your fish. I mean, you pull up and you learn real quick how good you are at driving a boat when you pull up to that dock and there's 2 piers of people and then a giant leaderboard off to the left, bleachers, and then 3 stories of people having dinner at AJ's. And then you pull up in a little boat like, please don't bang into anything. Please don't make a fool out of yourself.
It is, but you know, there are so many people that they're, I don't want to say judging you, but taking pictures, and they're so excited to see what you caught, and they're so excited to be on the dock and see these things, and it really,
that's a good point. Like, it's not just fun on the boat. Like, it's fun, and we've gone down before just to watch some of these big boats
absolutely
bring in their big fish. It's just fun to hang out in that environment, like you said, live music, and just people everywhere, and then you see them hoist. I think that was like a 400-pound Mako or something that they... Remember that a couple years ago?
There are so many. I mean, some of these things are absolutely amazing, and like right straight off of the Discovery Channel. Like, you know, you would never even think that you could see this in person. So it's very cool. It's awesome. And I will say one more time, I know you brought it up briefly, but for the anglers, if you do go on a paid charter with some of these captains who are involved in the rodeo, the entry fee for the rodeo itself, there's no fee for you. It actually, the captains are the ones who have paid the entry fee. They're the ones who have already taken care of everything. So all you need to do is get on a boat and catch a fish.
Yeah, basically I pay for, I already have, most charter captains should have a fishing license that covers the boat, and then the vessel is entered. So anybody angling on that vessel can weigh in a fish. And obviously when you catch in a fish and you pull up to the dock and they hoist it up on the rope, and Weighmaster Bruce, and what do they say? He'll make you famous. Mm-hmm. He'll call out a time, the weight of your
really
fish.
Quick.
So he'll hoist it up, he'll call out the time, the weight of your fish, and then sometimes if you're lucky enough, he'll go first place and everybody will cheer. But the angler will sign a paper that says, here's my name and address, and here's how much it weighed. And then whoever the captain is will come by and sign it and verify the information's correct. And you just hope that it lasts the whole month so that you can win something nice. But it's just, like I said, it's awesome. I mean, it's a very fun... Sorry, is that a picture of Bruce that you have?
I was just going to show you guys in case you run into him without us, but this is Bruce. He is amazing. Everybody loves Bruce, and he is a big, huge part of the Destin community. He is the Weighmaster. Just look for the red and white striped socks on the dock. Just look for it. You'll see him very quickly, but all in all, it really is. It's a cool experience. And so, again, bringing us back to where we started this to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of insight on some of the things that we learned our first year. I know you learned your first year. There were some things that were like, oh, probably would have been nice to know that, starting in the rodeo. And so, Mark, I guess if we were asking you, if we were covering 3 topics, tell us what would be your number one suggestion, like number one, or your number one piece of advice about the rodeo?
You'll make fun of me for this because it's so cheesy, but the most important thing is having fun. Like, it is a tournament, and a lot of guys will take it really serious, and the guys will get mad when you fight a fish for 10 minutes and break off and lose it, and I'm guilty of that too. I'll definitely do that sometimes. But
I've cursed about losing a mahi. That was really
You
bad.
did. You screamed right in front of those little kids.
It was the biggest mahi I've ever seen in my life. It broke my heart. I lost it. It broke my heart.
Like, I couldn't even get mad because I had never heard you say anything like that.
I don't even curse.
But I couldn't do anything but laugh. Anyway, back to the rodeo. It's just a lot of fun. So my favorite trips are with kids, because no matter what, and we talk about this a lot too, especially some of the stories that Tim says, and Tim's a whole conversation for another time that
Tim will be his own episode.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about with Tim. But we talk about it a lot at the seminars and things like that. If any kid under the age of 13 shows up to that dock, he will win a prize.
He or she.
Or she, you're right.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. The girls rule.
It doesn't matter if that guy, it has to weigh 1 pound, I think. But they all joke and say, if you bring a fish, it will weigh 1 pound. I don't care if we have to put it in a Ziploc bag full of water, it's going to weigh 1 pound and that kid will win something. And for us, we've had a lot of kids actually catch good fish that we got to go weigh in. And it's fun to watch the kid try to write his name, sign his signature on the entry form.
Doesn't even know how to spell his name yet.
But it's fun to watch like a dad and his son at the weigh-in dock, and especially on the boat, like when you do catch something, and then you're like, we're gonna go to the dock and weigh that in, and then it's just a fun environment.
It's a memorable experience. It's one of those things that you're never gonna forget. You won't. You know, it especially if this is not something that you get to do every year. If it is, that's awesome. But it is. It's so much fun for the whole family, and it is. It's a big deal.
I mean, I played a lot of sports and I did a lot of stuff before I moved down here and started fishing. And there's like serious tournaments and competitions and all that stuff. But this is like, it doesn't matter if you've never gone fishing before in your life and you just show up on, like, say, my boat, and we drive out to a spot and I hand you a rod and I say, here, hold on and try to get this to the boat, and you get it to the boat, you can win. Or we've had anglers that have been all over the world that are catching fish and they could win. Like, it's just kind of like anybody can win.
Mm-hmm. And again, it just kind of bringing it back. And so your number one piece of advice was to have fun. Now, I know we've focused a little bit on the charter boats, but again, remember, you can as long as you're entered, you can win from the pier or your kayak. You know,
well, I think you won from the kayak one year.
I did. I got one on my kayak division. You know, you don't have to be on a boat. There's so many different opportunities. But at the end of the day, the weigh-in process is the same. So if we were going to maybe give us some advice on the weigh-in process, I mean, can you tell us a little bit about how that works so that we don't show up at the dock and we're just like, here's my fish.
So I mean, honestly, you could, but not from a boat. So the weigh-in process is a thing. So obviously, I mean, at the end of people are out fishing all day long. Between 4 and 7 p.m., there's a lot of people. It's kind of a zoo down there. I mean, people are eating food. There's charter boats pulling up. There's a lot of people who've been out fishing all day trying to sneak in right there at the end.
Especially on the weekend. It's the Destin Seafood Festivals this weekend.
Oh,
so can you imagine how many people are down there? So there has to be or weekends especially.
Yeah.
There has to be some kind of, you have to have kind of a little bit of a plan.
Yeah. So, there are a couple things about it. So, one, most fish have to be gutted in order to weigh in. If you show up to the dock and your fish aren't gutted, and normally a captain or whoever's in charge of it, or people who've done it before and know all this stuff, like this is all taken care of before you show up to the dock. But if you do show up to the dock and your fish hasn't been gutted, they'll send you to the back of the line. And like I said, from 4 to 7, there could be one boat in front of you, or there could be 15 boats in front of you. So if you get in the back of the line, you're going to be there until it's dark out.
Yeah, you never know on that timing.
But another thing too is charter boats do get priority for weigh-ins during that time, and that's not for us, it's for the people on our boat. So like for me, for instance, we launch about an hour from the dock or something like that, from the weigh-in dock. So if we're there weighing in at 7 in the dark, then we have an hour-long drive home with clients. I think a lot of private boat anglers can kind of control that a little bit better than some of us, and it's just for the people on the charters and not for the charter captains themselves. But if you are fishing from kayak or pier or jetty or surf or paddleboard, then you can obviously, and we've done it before, throw our fish in a bucket and drive it over there and walk down and weigh in on foot. But that's cool too, because then we can hang out at AJ's and watch all the other.
You can. There's so many cool things, and if you do have to do it that way, there's a show. There's always a show. It's always a good time, and the people there are amazing too. So all right. So I guess number 1, have fun.
Yeah, by far.
Number 2, we want to make sure our fish is gutted. If you need details again though on which, not all fish, but the majority of them do need to be gutted. But again, if you find this, It has all of the rules in it, and you can figure out, which ones are, the exception to that rule.
Yeah, everything's in the book.
Yeah, everything's in there. You can find this at most places around Destin. But then I guess have fun. Make sure the fish is gutted. Have an idea on time in case you have to wait in line, because what is the weigh-in times that you can go in? It opens at
10. It's 10? From 10 to 7.
Okay, so you have that 10 to 7 time frame that you can come up and meet all of the wonderful volunteers that are there. They're the judges, they're weighing in. You can even while you're waiting in line, Bruce, we mentioned him before, he's telling his fishing stories. You can hear some of that stuff going on too. So, all right, well, if we've got those two, what is your third and final?
I didn't know there was a quiz.
Do you need 4?
No, great.
Do you need 4? Do I need to give you another point? I guess what's your last?
Oh, I've got one. Make sure all of your tackle and everything is ready before you get out. That's a good one. So, like a lot of guys, it's October. I mean, so if you're fishing after 7 o'clock at night anyway, it's pitch black. You probably shouldn't be out there unless you're really on a big boat or on an overnight trip or something. Like it's dark on the water. But the big thing for us, I mean, summer's a huge season. Snapper, everything going on. You're out there fishing every single day. And then there's like a little lull where people go back to school and then they come back for fall break and the rodeo and all that. But there's a big part of getting your tackle ready. So I think having good knots, new line on your reels, new drag washers, because of the gear we fish with is way too small for the size of these fish anyway.
Well, you don't want all of your tackle to fail.
Yeah.
Right when you're in the middle of a tournament. So, just to have everything ready to go, I feel like it's a huge deal and a time saver.
And I know we're doing a video, but I'm just trying to think of like what I would actually tell somebody in person. And it's, okay, we're going to go weigh in a fish, hopefully. I'm going to make sure that the boat, the rods, the reels, everything's taken care of. We're gut a fish. We'll go there. It's going to be a little longer day for us, for sure. That's
Make
really...
sure to pack extra PB&Js. You might need them.
Guys, I'm so sick of eating peanut butter and jelly.
Listen, fighting those big fish, though, have waters and PB&Js. You need snacks.
And no matter what,
snacks and water.
The fish will only bite when I take a bite of something myself.
Those are good luck PB&Js.
If I told you how many fish we fought, and I have like a whole, just like crumple of peanut butter and jelly and eat the whole thing all at once, and I'm trying to fight a fish... Or do you remember the guy with the donut in his mouth?
You need it to make you strong.
Do you remember that?
I do.
He was holding a chocolate frosted donut while holding a rod in one hand and eating the donut with the other hand. And I was like, you could see chocolate all over his hands. And I was like, hey man, you might want to eat, don't have your bait in the water with chocolate on your fingers. And then he was like, all right.
Maybe they like chocolate anchovies.
But that rod hit, and he was like, oh, and just shoved the whole donut in his mouth. And it was a giant fish. And I have a video on my phone of him fighting this fish going, I have a donut in my mouth.
Yep.
That's still that's a good one.
I do. I think it kind of goes into the good luck stuff, though. You never know.
I almost forgot about that.
That really does go to show you that every day is going to be different, too. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be something different. As much as you want to prepare, you're not going to be able to prepare for everything that's going on out there. And so,
that's where we come in handy, though. So, I mean, a lot of us are really used to it. There's some guys who aren't, but there's definitely a lot of guys who, like, I learn a lot from when I hang out with. But like, you can be ready for whatever. Like every morning, like you kind of have a plan of like, yeah, here's what we're gonna go do, and then you get out there and you're looking for grouper, and the school of mahi show up, and you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting this, but you got to be ready for all that stuff, right?
Right, exactly. You just, have an idea of what it is that you're after. And again, maybe sometimes you don't, but you know what? Sometimes it is. Sometimes all it is good luck. And your number one rule was have fun. So I feel like, it's a full circle.
Especially with kids. Like, that's the coolest part about this stuff is taking a kid. And it's funny because, like, we have all these papers in front of us and they have all these pictures. And, like, that's the weigh-in dock. Like, as if that's not intimidating to pull up to. But all these pictures just have little kids in them, just smiling ear to ear. That's the most fun part about this.
Well, it really is. It's raising little anglers and something that they can be excited about. And that's why you're going fishing with a kid anyway. Like, it's an experience. And, I think, I don't know why you're grinning at me like
because
that. Because
now, like, we started with this off and I was like, I don't know what we're supposed to talk about. Like, I don't do YouTube or anything. But now I'm like, well, my favorite trips are those kids who, like, you can tell they don't really want to be up that early or they don't want to be on the boat. And then, like, next year when they rebook again, he's wearing, like, a pelagic shirt and hook shorts and Columbia hat. And, like, what's the saying we always say? We're like, well, at least you don't have to worry about them doing drugs because they're going to spend all their money on fishing gear now.
All of it's going to be on fishing. Believe me, every single dollar is on another rod and reel.
I don't know how many rods you need, but we don't have enough.
I don't think there's an answer to that.
There's also not enough rod holders on most boats anymore.
Or
too.
In this house. I think you're full. There's
These are backup. These are backup rods. I need these.
Mm-hmm. I'm certain. What about those in the corner up there? What are those for?
Those are backups too.
Yeah, backups for backups.
Hey, mind your business.
I am trying to mind my business. But, we're going to go ahead and kind of bring, I guess, this video in. But before we do, one more question for you. And this is bonus footage. Bonus.
Uh-oh.
If you...
Do we need to have, like, a warning for people under the age of 18 watching this or anything?
No. I think we're good for the first video. So I guess, like, the bonus question, if people are still hanging in with us for this long, do you have any advice on keeping the weight on a fish? Obviously, if you gaff it or, if it is cut, like, can you give us little...
tell the truth based on a mistake that I've seen somebody make in the past?
I'm asking you to give people advice that they need to know.
So it's obviously it's a weight tournament. So it doesn't matter the length. It has to be a legal fish, but they've got to be heavy. So there's a big conversation we could have about processing fish and bleeding out certain fish, especially tunas and things like that.
That'll be another episode.
To make
subscribe.
We do a thing called EKGME to prepare fish a certain way so that they taste better, and it involves bleeding them out. But obviously, bleeding them out, you'll lose a lot of weight. So there's a fine line between bleeding them out and gutting them. There's just a way to do some of this stuff that a lot of the guys have figured out. But what I like to do, keep that fish alive as long as you can. Well, not alive, but keep that fish whole. Obviously, you have to gut him before you get to the dock, but if you bleed him out, he's going to lose a lot of weight. So whether that's sticking a bunch of gaff holes in him, trying to get him into the box, or if you net him carefully, or if you're crazy and just try to grab him by the tail and flip him in, don't lip our fish. Most of the fish in the Gulf have teeth, and a lot of bass guys will try to lip it, and they're like, oh, why did he bit me?
Then you have a rodeo scar.
Yeah.
On your thumb.
But no, there's definitely a way to keep... I mean, you want the fish to weigh the most. And a lot of the fish, first and second place, or third place, where you get nothing, is a matter of ounces. So keeping that fish heavy is a big part. And don't be like the guys who just got caught on Lake Erie stuffing their fish with lead. They'll check that. And you obviously have to gut it anyway.
That's why these fish have to be gutted.
Did you see that? They stuffed 8 pounds of lead in a walleye or something like that?
I did. That's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. It will get you in a lot of trouble, and you will not be making any friends. You probably would not want to enter the tournament for the next few years after.
You wouldn't be allowed to. No, you'd be...
No, completely disqualified. But you know what? At the end of the day, this is a super, super, super fun event.
And this year, too, we're off to records. I mean, Andrew caught a 101-pound wahoo that was hoisted up on the scale. The thing was like 7 feet long. It was all... Like, I'm a fisherman. I do this every day. It was awesome for me to see that. And then the amberjack this year is like 108 pounds gutted.
It's going to be a good year.
Which must have been 118 before. Yeah. It's just the fish this year are awesome. And the fish that we have on the board now are bigger than the ones that won it last year. So it's just one of those years that like you said, you have no idea what's going to happen.
No. And the trend is the bigger the better. So let's just, if you guys want to be involved, feel free to reach out. Or again, grab one of these books if you want to go and just try to figure out how you can do it on your own. We're also available if you want to send Mark a message directly. He's happy to answer any questions. just give him a little bit of time in case he's actually out fishing the rodeo. And please don't ask for spots because
I had a guy ask for spots today.
yeah, let's not ask for spots.
You know who you are.
You don't know. That's probably not the best idea. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. We're gonna have a few more coming out. Here within. We're gonna try to do at least 2 a week. Matt is our editor, and I'm sure he's going to yell at us if we don't.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to make Matt happy.
We have no idea what we're doing.
No idea.
If there's anything, and I don't want to say this because people will probably suggest really weird stuff. Well, I would.
Of course.
What else can we do? Like, what do you guys actually care about or want to know?
We're really, right now, our plan is going to be, events in the area and fishing advice and like what, we do or he does, for his boat and his livelihood and everything here, what works the best. And God, Lord knows we've tried so many different things and all of that comes from experience. And so we're going to really try to put out a bunch of cool videos for you guys, and hopefully it will save you some time, and some bother. So if there is anything that you guys want to see, any requests, anything, again, any just normal question that you may send, maybe that's our next topic. So feel free to throw that in the comments.
It's cool because like I've had a couple people really show me a lot of stuff and save me like years of trying to figure stuff out on my own. And I'm not very good at many things, but if there's anything that I can actually tell people and help them figure stuff out, I'm happy to.
He's good at talking, so.
Yeah.
He's good at talking.
Fair warning.
We got you. So in the meantime, like, share, subscribe. I think that's what Matt told me to say.
I don't know how that
like,
works.
share, subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you here in a couple of days.
I don't know who you are, but you seem pretty cool.